of the Dragon is my favorite show. I used to love watching The Boys, but now, aside from Invincible, this is one of the only shows that I'm actually excited to see. And they came back with the smoke. If you haven't seen season 1, definitely go watch it. I shouldn't have to tell you that. But if you're a little bit rusty like I was, you definitely should watch a recap. With all the moving parts, it's necessary. So we start off with this guy's voice from Winterfell, sounding like a narrator from Audible.
It eclipses all things. Began a tradition by making an offering at the onset of winter. 1 in 10 men from our household was to be chosen to fortify the watch.
And then we discover it's this guy that was just talking to one of the Valerian boys. Took me a while to wonder who he was. I'm like, he looks well more kept than everybody else. Like, he's not actually from Winterfell. No, it sounds weird. It took me a while to realize, oh, he's one of Rhaenyra's sons. Real talk, this guy has that Tom Cruise look. And I don't remember, was there like a severe time jump where they aged 20 years? Or was the original actor just in a different costume? I don't know how much time has passed. I'm really bad with that. And didn't she have 3 of the brown-haired boys? I did look at the recap because it's been a while. That's why I hate watching these shows with breaks in between, because you do end up mixing up information from other shows and you forget. When it's been long and you've been filling your head with the stories of other shows, you're gonna forget some of the details. But all we have to know from this interaction is that Starks don't forget their oaths.
And the one I owe to King's Landing. I need my men here.
Whilst your men guard against wildlings and weather, the High Tower's plan to usurp the throne. If my mother is to defend her claim to hold the realm united, she needs an army.
This part I was a little confused before because they claimed that on Rhaenyra's side and the Targaryens and Valerians and whatnot, they had 13 dragons, 13 or 15 dragons, while the High Towers only had 4. But yes, they do have Vhagar, which is the largest dragon, which does tend to tip the scales a little. I mean, Vhagar is like the Godzilla of all the dragons. You could probably fit the entire cast of dragons into this one dragon here. So yes, with that power and that of Aemon's ruthlessness, it's akin to going up against the hosts of hell. Where we ended off in season 1, Rhaenyra had found out that her son, Lucerys, died at the hand of Aemon and his dragon, Vhagar, the largest dragon, and just, you could see the size difference there. I kept looking back throughout the scene to merely glean a hint of Lucerys's broken body, and there was nothing. And Vhagar looks like she chewed quite a few times while trying to break into Arax, the little dragon, to separate him from the rest of his body. So that must mean that poor Lucerys was mushed to smithereens into mincemeat, and so there was nothing left of him save little bits of flesh, and she might have even swallowed some of him because he was so small. Or he was crushed so forcefully that he melded with the flesh of his dragon. That is quite an interesting plot for a horror story, by the way. Guy melds with his dragon in death and they become this eldritch entity that seeks out vengeance on all the bloodline of the High Towers. And of course, sociopathic cutie over here is feeling it, not because he particularly cares that Lucerys is dead, I don't think, but it's like, oh shit, I started a war and mommy's gonna be very angry.
Mommy's very angry.
And poor Rhaenyra, that part was just really, really heartbreaking. But now here we are, and she's not doing so well. Like any mother, she wants confirmation. She couldn't even bury her son. There's no body to bury. And so the only clue that she was able to find was one of the wings of the broken dragon that belonged to her son, and his cloak. I wanted to cry with her because you have the closure, but you can't even get to hold any part of him one last time. Probably eaten by the ocean creatures. You can tell her dragon is hurting for her as well.
7 more ships put out to sea this morning to fortify the blockade.
I do love Corlys, and it's so sad to see that he's injured. However, he is still playing a very pivotal part in this blockade to keep resources from going to the High Towers. The man is fighting for his life, and you can also tell that he's mourning his grandson. But now you can see there's an even greater motivator for Rhaenyra's people and all of them and the Valerians to come out against the High Towers, because they didn't want to. They didn't want bloodshed, but they had to keep this going. But on one hand, it's also messed up because Aemon did lose an eye, and as crazy as it sounds, he didn't really get justice for that. Then again, he did say it didn't matter because he lost an eye, but he gained a dragon. But he clearly is still salty about losing his eye. And I can't exactly blame him since no justice was served.
Oh. I want you to put out your eye. It's payment for mine. One will serve.
Give me your eye, or I will take it back!
Not gonna lie, that is pretty terrifying. I love how you can see the sheer scale of Vhagar even when she's far away.
Where is Jaehaerys?
Why do the maids maids always look like they're scared for their life. I don't know why, but in episode 1 of season 2, that her and this other one are the funniest people. They don't even say anything, but they had me laughing. Just the whole interaction. The wife, who is, I guess, Aegon's sister, it just had me cracking up. Why the scene was so funny to me, I don't know. It's the way they're all acting.
Sending his lessons.
And those aware?
What do you need of him?
Taken into the small council.
The girl in the bat, why are they so terrified? What did he do to them? Why are they so freaking terrified? Or what is she doing to them? Are they scared of her or him or them together? I need answers. Well, one thing I noticed is that Homelander over here loves his son, but he does the same thing that my dad did with my brothers. If they're not facing him and he doesn't look at them directly, he can't tell which is which. So he has to be like, who are you? Oh, you're this person. And then my brothers will be like, no, that I'm not this person. I'm the other person. And he's like, oh. I'm like, Daddy, you can't tell the difference between your sons? That's so shameful. You see, I can tell the difference between my twin brothers because I kind of raised them, sort of, so I got to know their features. But if you're just glancing at them, even though they're not technically identical twins, if you're just glancing at them, especially from afar, it takes a little bit of, oh, I gotta look very carefully to make sure I got the right kid. So it was funny when he came and he was like, who are you? Oh, you're not the boy.
Must begin his instruction.
What do you need of him?
Taken into the small council. He'll be king one day. He must begin his instruction.
What if he does not want to be king?
Why is she saying this so malevolently? He's a kid. Maybe he will not want to be king, but that's why you had them. Why is she so upset? Like, I need to know something behind this. Clearly, she's kind of, you know, like something's going on. We already knew that. I thought it was just her being gothic as hell because she likes spiders and creepy things, which makes this scene even funnier. The part that's coming up next, but the part where she's like, what if he doesn't want to be king? That part kind of confused me. Does she want the kids all to herself, or does she see something in his future that nobody else does?
Where is he?
The library. You must not interrupt his custom. I'm afraid.
Don't be.
I like when people are like, I'm sad. I'm scared. Oh, it's okay. Don't be. Like, okay. If I could just not be, I just wouldn't be, though. Like, what kind of foolishness? But then he expounds on that because he thinks she's talking about Rhaenyra coming. And he's like, bro, I got that little blockade that they put up in the sea. I will burn that to smithereens. I'm freaking Quicksilver. I mean, freaking Aegon. I'll take care of it.
I'm with Vhagar protecting the city.
Not the dragons. The rats.
Watch their interaction. Like, what? Watch. Why are they all, is she crazy? Why are they all looking around like that? She's like, not the dragons, the rats. He's like, huh? I'm sorry, I gotta see that again. That was so fun. No matter how many times I watch it, it's so hilarious. It's not funny, but to me it is because of how everyone reacts.
Come with Vhagar protecting the city.
Not the dragons. The rats.
The Queen is an enduring mystery.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I've had that happen before where a family member that was losing her mind. It's not funny. Like when when you see it portrayed on TV, it's funny because it comes off comical. But in real life, it's actually pretty sad when it's happening to somebody that you love when they're losing their minds. Because we went in and she can see things that we can't see, and we're checking up on her, doing a wellness check. And she's like, guys, say hello to the judge. And she's kneeling before a wall and waiting for us to acknowledge the person that neither of us can see. And we're just quiet for a while because we're confused. And then we look to the wall, both of us at the same time. And I'm like, oh, hello, Your Honor. Because I don't know what to do, and I don't want the person to feel bad because it must be very lonely when they're going through something and they can see something nobody else can see, and how lonely that must feel. So yeah, if it's happening to someone that you love, it's not funny because it's actually pretty sad. But seeing it portrayed on TV, the way they edited it with the other people, part of the dark humor of it is coming from the fact that I've been in those situations where I look just like these people, so I know exactly how it feels, and the actors are so good with this. They portray the awkwardness so well. How much are these maids getting paid to just play awkward?
The Queen is an enduring mystery. Is she not?
Nobody says anything. Someone is getting their snatch licked. I know. And of course, it's F&F 2.0 over here because he messed around with this person he knew he wasn't going to ever be with because it was unrealistic, made a decision himself to break his own oath and then somehow blames Rhaenyra and now wants to tear her apart as well as her children because she told him she can't run off and marry him. He's such an idiot. It makes him so unlikable. Like, I liked him at first and I understand his anger of having his heart broken, but bro, you're a grown-ass adult and you made that decision. I mean, he could argue that, oh, well, she was the princess, so I couldn't do anything. I can't tell her no. But you were ready to walk out and she teased you and you gave in because you wanted to. Let's not be coy here. And the fact that he's this salty means that he clearly still has feelings for Rhaenyra. You don't try to absolutely upend someone's life and pour all that hatred into trying to end them or make them unhappy unless you're still hung up on that person. It's giving, I have a new girlfriend now. How about that? But if Rhaenyra was to spread her legs for him, he'd be like, really? Oh, I was waiting for you to come back to me. Like, ugh.
Cunts.
Exactly. So one thing we notice is that Jaehaerys, the boy twin, is really loved by his father. Look at all the pride that man has in his face. And the kid is super cute too. He has no discipline, but he is super cute. But at least he listens to his dad, because after the father embarrasses the Lannister guy by telling him to give his son a pony ride, he dismisses the boy.
No, not in the least, Your Grace.
Because I think he wants a ride.
Your Grace.
A ride?
A pony ride. Wouldn't that be fun, Jaehaerys? Should the Master of Coin be your royal steed?
He looks so uncomfortable. This is why one of the Lannisters killed y'all.
Off you go, Jaehaerys.
Goodbye.
Where were we?
Alicent is not very happy with her other son. Good lord. This man, I know he's a villain, but he's giving really hot anime character villain vibes. And I'm not the only one who said that, so it's not just me. I know you're all gonna be like, oh, you're thirsty. Bro, he is a tall glass of water. Everyone's thirsty when they see him, even guys. Am I lying?
You feel me?
Okay then, stop. But every time he walks into a room or he just commandeers the scenes, man. Look at him. Look how he carries himself. He's like Daemon 2.0, but a more esoteric and wraithy version of him. I swear he could have played young Daemon. He looks like an elven warrior. Nobody wants him on the council because he's the one that started this whole war with not being able to control his dragon and it killing Lucerys. But Aegon says that that's my brother. He's the closest person I have to me, so whether y'all like it or not, he's in the room with us. If I'm banging my wife/sister, he's watching.
I'm calling them back. We must proceed cautiously. Fat old Lord Tully will either raise my banner or see his burn. We should fly to River Run.
You are the king, Your Grace. You must not put yourself at risk.
And Vhagar is needed here to deter Rhaenyra from attacking, in retribution for the death of her son.
Damn, look at his, let me stop. So on one hand, we got Alicent's father, Mr. Hightower, Dr. Hightower, whatever he is, and her son, all like, we need to go and trash all of them and rip all their dragons to shreds because they are committing treason, sort of, so it is what it is. And then we got Alicent and her puss licker over here saying, no, we shouldn't be so hasty. I think it's more so because Alicent feels horrible. She didn't actually intend to kill Lucerys or have him dead. As a mother, it's very important to her, and plus she still harbors some love for Rhaenyra, so she doesn't want to hurt her, and furthermore, she understands that the woman is grieving.
We had to have a word before the small council convened, but your handmaiden said that you were indisposed.
Yo, bro over here is jealous. Mr. Foot Sniffer, don't worry. The guy wasn't licking her feet. They can still all be yours. I don't know why he's so freaking salty over this. Anyway, he's taking care of business for her, questioning the whole staff, and making sure that their loose ends tied up and they're protected. And this part that he says next actually sends a shiver down my spine.
I have completed questioning the whole of the castle staff. They produced rather interesting details, but I am satisfied I have exposed all who betrayed our trust.
And what of them?
They no longer breathe our air.
That's terrifying.
The way she's looking get her. I couldn't have someone doing that to my hands. I even tried it on myself, and my hands turned into a Venus flytrap and almost took off my own fingers because it tickled so bad.
Give me that.
Your Grace?
Just leave me. Just leave me.
I have a question. Now she has 4 people bathing her, right? I don't know why you would need 4 people to do this. Maybe someone to keep on replenishing the water so it constantly stays hot. But there are people washing her, right? Please forgive me ahead of time. I like asking questions, and sometimes they tend to be very uncomfortable. But I'm just wondering. So when these people bathe royalty, do they have to wash their ass and crotch? Don't get mad. It's a legitimate question. When they are washing her, do they then tell her, okay, now you need to set yourself prostrate so we can
You know what I mean?
And then what is the length of time that they spend do they have one person on each side of the ass cheek to hold one part open, and then one person is, I don't know, like, you know, when you ladies, when you get waxed, you know, is it whatever. I'm sorry. I just feel like nobody would be able to scrub me and get me clean the way I can get myself clean. You know, because she's really scrubbing there. And you're sitting in bath water. So what exactly are the people there for? I don't understand. Like, what are they doing? And then when you see people on TV washing people's hair, they're not washing your hair. Like, they're not putting their fingers in and massaging the dead cells off your scalp. They're not really washing you. They're just gliding over you. So then you're dirty, and then you're sitting in your own bathwater on top of it. So all the dead skin that comes off, you're soaking in that. Your ass juices that are coming out, you're soaking in that. And then you, okay, I can't even. This woman does meth face very well. Okay, that's not nice. That's not what I meant. She does anguish and despair and depression very well. Like, you could tell she's really upset. I feel so bad for her, man. She went through so much. I mean, everyone in the show does, but can you imagine your son is like, I got you, Mom, and he's all shy. You send him out to do his job, and he's trying to please you and the family, and then I don't know what should have been done at that time. I mean, I figured it would be fair to take the eye of the other kid, and people can say, well, they're just kids. He didn't know what he was doing. But then again, he was defending his family on top of that. But you swung your sword against someone and maimed them. So even if they don't take his eye, some sort of punishment would have been required so that doesn't happen again. You don't just be like, whoops, oh well. Maybe you can argue for self-defense, but then, I mean, the witnesses were there. That's why I love Game of Thrones. That was a really horrible situation. But him getting off scot-free should not have happened. Like, at all. I mean, I don't know. He was defending the girls, but it got out of hand. And I think disciplinary action should have been taken for that at least.
Dragon!
These people are not running like they're running for their lives. Look at the guy. Look at the dude over here. Even if you have an ailment, adrenaline does a great job of taking that over. And he's cantering. He's not running. And this dude is smiling his ass off because he's like, this is funny as hell. We're literally running from nothing. I am cracking up right now. Does he look scared to you? He doesn't look scared at all. He's just like, oh, this is fun. He's cracking the hell up, bro. Didn't they want to edit that out? Like, what is wrong with him? And then look at these two buffoons on the right. You see a dragon and you're scared, so you run around and right close to it. What is wrong with you? Like, I would have run over here and over the lip because, you know, be it far from me to expect that if you're terrified of dragons at one lands, you're just gonna be prey and run right in its line of sight. That makes no freaking sense. Also, did you notice how Rhaenyra's dragon waited until all the humans were gone before she turned back her direction to Rhaenyra? She was totally watching her back right there. I don't know if anyone caught that. Poor Rhaenyra. And how did the cloak end up with the dragon? Did they wash up together? I didn't even see the kid's cloak. His clothes were gone too. Unless I didn't edit that in. But anyway, now she knows for sure. And if you're one of those like conspiratorial type people, you'd probably say, well, we saw the dragon attack them, but we didn't actually see him die. And there's no actual body. And they're going to pull one of those things that they pull off of something like Camp Cretaceous and be like, well, everyone thought this person, you know, I still in the back of my mind even held out that hope, but this is Game of Thrones franchise, so chances are that's not what's happening. His dragon's dead. He's most likely dead. We saw the dragon's jaws close over him. From what we can see of Prince Aegon so far, King Aegon, whatever, he is called Aegon the Magnanimous. And he seems to be really nice or wants the people to like him or at least wants to help them. This guy's sheep got eaten by the dragons. And he's like, okay, we'll return your sheep to you. And the hand of the king is like, yeah, no, we're not.
I shall make your flock of sheep whole.
We already made a promise to all the crownlands that a tithing of livestock would be necessary to sustain the dragons for their increased activity and, pray not, eventual fighting.
Right. Perhaps we could just return his sheep. He came all this way.
If you return one herd of sheep, your grace, you'll soon find them all at the foot of your throne expecting the same.
The poor guy has no experience, but he's also trying to do the right thing. But that's true. If you do one for one, then everyone's going to be expecting it. And then you're going to have people trying to game the system by pretending they lost sheep so they can get more from the king. It sucks, but the bad, greedy people make it worse for everyone else.
They won't know.
When the king speaks, your grace, all hear it.
After further thought.
I like how his face is a perfect square. Got that Steve Riz going on.
Iron costs have grown. A lone scorpion takes weeks to build.
I had no idea that those scorpion things those things that they launched at the dragons. I had no idea that those took weeks to build. Weeks? Really? Is one person working on it? Anyways, he kind of goes against his grandfather here, the Hand of the King, and reminds the grandfather that, yeah, we need these people for the war efforts, so our victory depends on the small folk. We can't say no to absolutely everything.
And paid well. My army cannot win a war without your weapons. You should continue their making. Our victory depends on the efforts of the small folk.
You have my most sincere gratitude.
The way he goes back down the steps. So of course, precursor Littlefinger, gone foot sniffer sucker at night, is like, yeah, your father was very kind, and so are you, my king. And Otto just wants to hold his grip on the throne because he believes in blah, blah, blah. But he was your father's hand. I like how this guy is able to imply things heavily without outright saying it, so he can have plausible deniability. So if anyone asks him, yeah, but you said this to this person. No, I didn't. What are you talking about? And he can walk away completely innocent.
Otto Hightower was your father's hand, your grace.
And he did serve the realm well, but King should pick his hand. But that must be a really awkward spot for Aegon to be in now, because that is his grandfather. Alicent over here, who was just drowned in guilt about Rhaenyra losing her son, tells her father, you cannot cut me off at the knees when it comes to the boys. If you undermine my voice, those boys will grow deaf to it, and it's important that they at least listen to me too. She understands and agrees with her father that there must be violence, but she said it doesn't have to be wanton. I don't think this girl actually wants to fight because I think she's afraid of now the motivation and rage that Rhaenyra will have to want to kill her children. So they catch the spy woman, and she's the one who's been helping Otto with his information. So Daemon's like, you're gonna help me now, or I'm gonna slap your tits off your chest. Oh dear God, Daddy Daemon, I don't want that at all. Unless you want it.
A matter of honor.
Was it honor that made you stand by and watch as the Hightowers usurped the throne?
I understand where the twins are coming from, the Lannisters, because they swore to protect the royal families, but then the royal families themselves are turning in on each other. Then whose side are they supposed to pick? Rhaenyra finally returns, and it's nice to see that her and her husband are once again on the same boat. Man, Daemon, Matt Smith is a stallion, bro. Rhaenyra, upon her return, only says one thing, and one thing only.
One song only.
I want Aemond Targaryen.
Feels a little anticlimactic.
This part had to be the saddest part in this episode for me. I mean, well, there's another one that almost made me cry, but I was shocked out of it. And I guess the bigger brother of Lucerys, the kid that got eaten by the big dragon at the end of the season 1 finale, he just came home and heard that his brother was dead. Now, my memory's a little rusty, but what happened to the other brother? Didn't they have 3? Did one die? So I'm saying I'm always confused. And the recaps don't necessarily cover every single thing, so now I'm gonna have to go back and run through. But he's trying to do his job of telling his mom the news and trying to be strong, and he's just falling apart, barely keeping it together, and she understands.
As promised, 2,000 men.
Oh my god. And he can't even like mourn his baby brother, like... Kid was like, how old was he? He was super tiny. He was like 10 years old. He's just a baby, and it's like, he's gone. That's messed up. He didn't even mean to provoke Vhagar, but here's the thing. Vhagar is an asshole, because the Arax, the little dragon, attacked Vhagar. It didn't attack the rider, because the little dragon just didn't want to be bullied. He fought to protect his rider and himself, and he was basically telling the bigger dragon, leave me the hell alone. It's not like it hurt her all that much, but the big dragon was like, I'm killing both of you right now. I'm a war dragon. The fuck you think we are? Alicent's praying for all the fallen ones, including Lucerys. Bitch, it's not gonna stop you from the mother's rage. You could be scared all you want and feel bad for your friend. It's not gonna stop the bad that is going to rain down on your family. Good lord. What are you doing? What? Looking freaking Owen Wilson lips over here. Look at him. Ooh, you like me? I'm gonna smolder. Like, bro, he went from, I am so sad my brother is dead, to, look at me. Look at this. See my jaw maxing and my lip maxing and my face maxing? Unless the embers are directly flying into your eyes, there is no reason your lips need to be out that far. She looks like, Littlefoot. No, wait. No, is it Littlefoot from Land Before Time? I mean, the resemblance is there a little bit. Who the hell is he? I am so confused. Forgive me. Who is this? Is this the littlest brother? Because he's with the other girl now, right? One of the Valerians? From what we've seen of the show, they do show that they have recessive genes and dominant skin colors and stuff. So this can't be their child unless, I mean, it's possible. That does happen in real life, where darker skinned people the recessive genes will come to the surface and they will have a child that looks completely like the Caucasian father. That does happen all the time. And it's not Rhaenyra and Daemon's son, and he's too small, so who is this? Is that the littlest brother? Because I know they had 3, but I thought they were all much older. And he looks like he's about 5. I'm so confused. I really do have to go back and watch big swaths of the first season, because don't get mad at me. A lot of people are like, I haven't watched this in a while, so I gotta go back and brush up on the bloodline. Because what certainly doesn't help is that throughout the bloodlines, you have a bunch of people from different generations with the same name. So there's that as well. So Daemon starts putting his plan in motion for Rhaenyra. These guys don't like the High Towers, so they let Daemon in, feigning him as a prisoner. He meets the rat catcher. Oh, it turns out there are rats. Old discount Billy Butcher over here is like, yeah, I'm the rat catcher, and...
What a big rat's nest it is. I know them better than the shape of my own cock.
Do you now? That's a very bold claim to make, sir. So Daemon's like, bro, we just need one with the silver hair and one eye. Can't be hard to find. It'd be so messed up if there was somebody else in the realm that fit that description. But to be fair, there's only one person like that in the castle. So Daemon's like, this guy's gonna be your new friend. You get the rest of the money when you complete the job. My ass would have just taken the money and left, because you're asking me to go and kill the king's closest brother. Are you mad? Do I get any protection after this? No? Then I'm getting out of here. But then Daemon has a dragon too, so it's not like he can't fly across the sea and find you wherever you go. Meanwhile, our elven Adonis is scheming with discount F&F over here. He tells the dude that my mom blames me for starting this war. You kinda did. But he's also calling out her hypocrisy. And Otto comes in not liking the fact that the prince is scheming behind his back.
Return to your post, Lord Commander. I must have a word with the prince. It would concern me, Grand.
Why does he always do that look? Jesus Christ. It's that look that's like, there's so many things it could mean, but it's very disarming. Stop.
Plans were being considered beyond the ears of your king and his hand. You've a zeal to act, I understand. I was young once myself.
I only wish to serve my king and my house.
You and Vega are the greatest single power in the realm. If it wasn't obvious before, it certainly is now.
He's smart, and he's trying to stroke the guy's ego, which is the better way to do this, because don't think that Aemon's the kind of guy who is going to be beholden to discipline from someone that isn't the king and is phasing out, sort of. His grandfather's trying to tell him, bro, I get you, fam, I get you, but you know, you and your impulses are gonna get us in trouble, man. You can't lead in cock first. You gotta stop and think, or you're gonna lose it. What he really means is you're gonna ruin my plans and then ruin all of us, just like you did when you started this war.
But there are many pieces at play here, some of which you can't yet see. I promise you, Aemond, you will have all the vengeance that you seek, but you must keep a grip on your impulses. We both know that your brother cannot.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I just got this scene just now. I could be wrong. I could be erroneous. But did you notice that the elf, Aemond, his face changed. He was all rebellious and he's like, grandfather, you stupid boomer, you don't know what you're talking about. But his face changed right there when he's like, your brother can't keep a grip on his impulses, so you gotta. I didn't catch that until just now, that his grandfather might have been implying that you will be king someday and I want you to be king. Your brother is going to fail at some point and lose the throne, and I need you to be in good condition so you can sweep it up. And the brother has one son, and if that son dies, then Aemond would be king because he's the next brother. He's the next male heir in line. I mean, I keep forgetting he's the younger brother. He looks older, but he is the younger brother, I believe, even though he's much taller. So there is a scene here. I was freaking out and I had to look on the Does the Dog Die website because it is a Game of Thrones franchise. So it's to be expected that that would happen. Thank goodness the dog doesn't die in this episode. And I don't know if it ever does, but something does happen. So there's a warning that I must give you that the dog is okay. That's the good news. But something happens that pissed everybody off, including me. These people are walking around the castle with fire. I mean, flashlights are one thing, but it brings attention to you. But they're rat catchers, so that's how they're cloaking everything. And the king is in there with his friends, just shooting the shit, clearly drunk, so he doesn't even know what the frick is going on. While the rat catcher leads the other guy in, who's the assassin, I'm guessing.
Aegon the Generous, then. That would charm small folk.
I like that.
Is there more strong one? Aegon the Dragon Heart.
Better.
Aegon the Dragon Cock.
Yes, yes. The untamable beast.
At least the dude has friends. That's good. Healthy social life. I was telling my husband that this part looked like an indie game that I've played. This just shot right here. Does it not look like a platformer indie game, sort of? So the guy's like, the rat catcher's like, all right, good luck, have fun. And he's like, bro, no. We need to find a way up there. The rat catcher's like, I don't know how to get up there, but he said he knew the place like the shape of his you-know-what.
Fuck off.
I'm with everybody on this. Why was that scene needed? And I need to know whether or not that dog actually got kicked. Because if it was CGI, very well done, but was that necessary? We can kill babies in this. We can kill people. We can kill women. All these awful things can happen. Leave the fucking dogs alone. I know that sounds unhinged. I'm completely aware of that, and I don't care. Leave the dogs alone. They didn't show the kid getting murked. Why are you showing people kicking dogs on screen, bro? And what makes it worse is everybody's asking the same question, and we can't find an answer. Are we gonna get an answer? Is the dog okay? Still can't get the answer. People are saying, yeah, they have dragons, so it's not real. But no, we need some confirmation. I need confirmation. And you don't need to drive home how horrible someone is by taking it out on dogs. You don't need to do that. That's a very cheap way of doing things. And then it still doesn't make any sense because the guy relies on the dog to do his work. Why would you try to hurt the dog? You need the dog. I feel like they did it on purpose to get people talking. I know I'm harping on this, but I literally, like, throughout just making this video, I've been combing the internet trying to find where they said they didn't do it. And I feel like they're doing this on purpose and letting people all get mad over this so they can drum up people talking talking about it and feel good about themselves. Like, our CGI was so good in the dark that people actually believed that was real. We'd still be very impressed if you said it wasn't. Just saying. We've only got people speculating, but this is the best thing I've come up with so far, but we don't know. And I'm gonna keep coming back and checking because they don't allow animal cruelty, like certain animal cruelty on screen. I don't think there's anything protecting ants, but I don't want it. Whatever. Mercifully, the dog runs off and is okay and not injured. I thought that was a dog for a second because I'm like, oh no, but it's a rat. I think all the rats in here are pets too. And I don't know, it goes back to the scene with that girl being crazy saying she's afraid of the rats, but there are actually rats in the castle. So I don't know why everyone was acting so strange, but you don't see the dog after this. So you don't have to worry about him getting killed or anything.
We need to keep looking.
I told you, I'm not supposed to be up here.
Did you not hear the prince? No head, no gold.
That voice though, damn. No head, no gold. Like if a crocodile could talk or an alligator could talk, that's what his voice would sound like. Freaking Brumhilde over here sees them and she's like, you're not the rat catcher that's usually in here. But the guy's like, it'll be all right. Don't worry, I'm a rat catcher. I'm just filling in. Keep your mouth shut, Miss Unibrow, and you'll be fine. And I love the tension of this scene. This is usually the kind of tension that falls over the show atmospherically to let you know that something's about to happen.
It's the Queen, cheese.
A son for a son, he said. Does she look like a fucking son to you?
Over there.
Oh boy. So we've got the twins. Holy moly. This scene was good. This scene was so good. And because they're twins, they're like, we don't know which one's which. So he's like, just look for a cock. And I guess the guy's not comfortable with that. So he's like, just ask the mom. And my thing is, okay, it's not sexual at all. To make sure that I wouldn't make a mistake, especially if I know it's gonna come back and bite me and my family in the ass, I would lift up the hem of the thing and be like, all right, just like a doctor would do, quick check. There's something in there. There's something not in there. Grab that one. Let's go. We've already seen that they're stupid people. So, or what do you call it? Like really bad people. But I don't see anything wrong with them being like, yeah, we're just gonna check. And you don't have to show them actually doing it with the actual children. But I feel like they did that just because they didn't want to make it awkward. Like, nah, we're not gonna have them checking. But that would be the most common sense thing to do. You don't grab it. You just, oh, quick look. But they take a chance by telling the mom, hey, tell us which one's which is very inefficient. And she's scared. So what if she lies? Which they do address here.
But look for a cock.
The mother knows.
Do anything but what I ask, and I'll bleed the whole...
They could have... They're being stupid. They could have saved so much trouble, unless they're trying not to wake the kids or something, but you're already making noise. So you run the risk of getting caught and not making it out in there instead of just lifting up the hem and being like, oh, boy, oh, girl, let's grab this one. It's so stupid.
Lawyer. Which?
I have a necklace. It's of great value.
Thanks very much. Okay, now which? It's not funny. The poor woman, she's trying to protect her babies, but I think she knows and she's like, I could lose both of them in my life, or I could lose one of them and save the other. Holy shit. I'm trying to figure out, like, if someone was going to do that with my dogs. I don't want to think about that. No, it's too much.
That's not a son.
I honestly thought she was about to scream right there and then. I thought she was gonna be like, and then she just gasps and then does nothing. Why was she so sure? Like, I don't know. I don't want to judge her because she has her reasons. I mean, what would you guys do in that situation? Would you be like, you know what, kill all of us because I'm not gonna choose? Or would you fight and then risk all your babies dying? Or would you be like, oh my God, this is hard, but I gotta think about who would have had a rougher life, by the way. Unless she saw a vision or something. I would figure the girl would have the rougher life. Well, not really. Aside from risking death in childbirth, and being subjugated. As the king, you are constantly thrust in a position where you have to make horrible decisions and people might want to kill you. So, I mean, people just look at a king and be like, oh, he sinks his face in snatch all day long. Living like a king is great, but it's not, actually. You're in constant danger. You have way more responsibilities than anybody would want for their lifetime, so it's not really the nicest life. And you are a prisoner to the throne. So the females do have it easier, and what they do risk, though, is potentially marrying someone that they don't want to have sex with, or falling in love with the king and knowing that he's out there giving himself to everybody else, or dying in childbirth or losing your children. Which, I mean, I can't really say one's worse than the other. They're two different things. But when it comes to your life actually being in danger and living a life of being pampered, the king doesn't really get that half the time. I mean, he does. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. Do you think it's worse to be a king or a queen? I guess it would depend on the personality.
Wait. It's the other one. She's not going to give up the king's heir that easy.
No. She's telling true.
Hold him down.
Now, for those who probably didn't know what the hell was going on, they said they want the head, a son for a son, right? In the captions, it said bones and flesh being sliced. That was what the subtitle said. So I think they're chopping the kid's head off. She makes off with a little girl, and at first I'm thinking, oh, she outsmarted them. This is actually the boy who she dressed in girl's clothing. It has to be. And then I would be like, okay, you didn't want to check when the kid was alive. You better check when he's dead to make sure. So she goes in, and her mom is getting it on, and it's so embarrassing. And then she's like, they killed the boy. Uh-oh. So aside from Alicent being a very depressed grandmother at losing her grandchild, one of them, now she's gonna have to worry about, okay, now my son needs to produce another heir because we can't have Aemond be the king because that would be horrible. So you need to hurry up and jump on your brother the way I'm jumping on my King's Guard right now and make some more children. And let's hope they don't come out crazy like the both of you. And that's where episode 1 ends. I love the show to pieces, and I'm still wondering, even after the ending, whether or not the little girl twin is actually the boy. Wouldn't it be funny, because they're twins, if the entire time the mother had switcherooed them and dressed the boy in girl's clothing and then dressed the girl in boy's clothing? Wait, what'd I say? Yeah, dressed them in each other's clothing, and she was fooling everyone because she's kind of crazy a little bit, and she was fooling everyone into thinking that the little boy was the little girl, so that the little girl, she's actually training the little girl to be a ruler. So while the little boy is in there playing toys wearing a dress, the little girl is wearing boy clothes and being taught all of the things that a little prince would be taught. That would be that would be crazy. And the maids are in on it and stuff, which is why they're super nervous. Holy shit, I would expect them to do something like that. I would expect this particular person to do something like that. I could be wrong, but that's just my theory. It could happen. Man, I love this show. Had it not been for the plot being from House of Dragon and it being the Targaryens and me seeing dragons, I probably wouldn't have never watched this. So the fact that they made it about the Targaryens and Valyria, that's what made me actually want to watch this show. If you haven't gotten in on House of Dragons, you should definitely watch it from season 1. Don't know why you would spoil it by watching this first, but trust me, it's good. Hopefully it remains like that and we don't get the season 8 Game of Thrones treatment.